session.
I'll make a motion to take a vote on ordinance 923, authorizing the purchase of certain real estate.
I'll second it.
Call it.
Hahn,
Yes.
McKinley,
No.
Pearl,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
motion carries.
We move to section 4, other items, the city manager and his report.
I've only got a couple of things. If you noticed, I don't know if you were aware that the water main has been extended underneath Salt Creek. That was done last week. It's approximately 5 to 7 feet underneath the creek bed, so I don't believe we'll have any further issues with it at that particular part of the water main. In the next couple of weeks to a month, the guys are going to get down there after a lot of the road work gets done, and they'll get that hooked up. That'll get water out to South Park. The second thing is that Councilman McKinley had brought up about South Park not being within the corporate limits. And so today I went out and I talked to Paul Linton and had a little conversation with him to see if he would be interested in coming into the city limits to the point to when we bring in South Park, we could just bring in his parcel of land at the same time. Paul said that he was going to talk to his family about it. He's got some kids, and one of the daughters kind of helps him oversee his personal deals. So at the next council meeting, I'm going to bring an ordinance to you for consideration to bring South Park into the city limits. At that point in time, we'll know if Paul Linton wants to come in at the same time.
Question on that.
Yes, sir.
What land's contingent to that? So does it land have to be contingent to it to bring it to the city limits?
Yes.
What's contingent to it?
On the west side of South Main, the city limits extends into the middle of Salt Creek.
Because of the lift stations that you're talking about?
No, that pasture there, if you go down there, you'll see where they put the water main in,
Okay.
right there.
Back by Fred Schaefer's property. City cemetery?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Right along South Main.
I know.
That all of goes approximately out to the middle of Salt Creek, so it'd be contiguous. And then the last thing is that there's large BMX races out at South Park this weekend. They're going to have a little fireworks display out there. And if you've got some time, you want to go out and see the BMX races, it'd be a good time to support them. So, that's what I've got.
Any questions to the city manager and his report? Any non-agenda items and other business?
TIF 2, where are we at with that?
As far as,
Anything? Is there any money available?
yes,
Okay.
there are friends in TIF 2.
Is there a committee? Is there a committee?
We are the committee.
Okay, we're the committee?
Yes.
Okay. Flushing hydrants, you got a plan for that?
I had asked the guys about a month ago to go out and flush hydrants, but they haven't done it. So they have been told, yes.
But don't you think you got to set some sort of schedule so that it should be like every year we do it this time or something like that?
That's why I told them about a month ago, all kidding aside, because there was an impromptu schedule that had been passed around by previous councils.
I think I'd tell them to get on it and do it soon.
Yes, sir.
I got a few questions here I was asked about today. Been a month since I've been here. I missed the last meeting, but we was talking about the lift pump cemetery. You get some work done for sewer and all that gets taken care of. They're having problems then. Problem with the lift pump down there on the south side.
We've had problems with the lift station up on Depot Road. Is that the one that you're talking
That's what
about?
I'm gonna guess, I'm sorry.
Last Monday, some more rack mop heads came through the lift station on the Depot Road. And today, playing phone tag with the gentleman that oversees, it's called Bridgeway Corporation, and playing phone tag with them. I don't know how these rag mops keep going down in through the sewer, but they have a tendency of ruining the motors. Now, this particular time, because Jago Electric had reworked the control panel, the motors actually kicked out instead of sitting there and running. So the motors did not get burned up. However, the guys were there for about 2.5, 3 hours, pulled the motors and pulled the rag moss out of the bottom of the impellers. So that's an ongoing thing. I've called IDOT to get a little support, so maybe IDOT could put the screws to this Bridgeway Corporation. A lot of phone tag.
Okay.
This
So
is
we got-
what happened to it before, was the mop heads got tangled up.
On more than one occasion,
Yes.
That's coming from the rest area. Okay. So we got the backup ready, or whatever, in case it does tear up, we got backup.
We've got the 2 new motors that are sitting in there, yeah, so, and they've had a motor that's rebuilt that's on standby, so there is an additional motor
Okay.
should something happen. But what had happened before, there again, they had Bill Yeagle rework the control panels. The motors would not kick out, they'd sit there and run until they burned up. Now they're operating properly past the
Shutting off, so no.
the motors kicked off,
Okay.
and the warning light actually worked, so.
The city shed, we budgeted to get it fixed, to get the installation done and get the roof fixed on it.
Yes. And the light plant superintendent was made aware of that, so.
Okay. The boring that's going on over there on West Street, would we be likely to take it clear to the plant, to the substation? Would that be a good thing to be looking into or not?
Well, we're not paying for it, I don't know.
Okay, I didn't know the guys were gonna be in town, I didn't know if it worked for us to do it or not.
No, nobody in the electrical department's ever said anything about that.
Okay. This might be a sore subject, but I've been approached about golf carts. Can golf carts be legally driven on our roads
With the city ordinance,
with the city ordinance?
yes.
Okay, so they need to get lights and
Yes.
flags and turn signals and all that, but they
Correct.
can drive them.
Yes, they can.
Okay. All right. That's all I have.
Are you requesting an ordinance?
I'm thinking that I'd like to see more golf carts on there, being driven in town. But everybody's got their opinion, but I just think it'd be kind of neat. Might save me gas for one of my bucks. That might be something we might be talking about.
On that, we can't, I mean, IDOT still has their rules, so even if we put an ordinance in, you're still breaking the law by crossing the highway in the golf cart, correct?
Unless they put us.
Without IDOT approval.
Yeah.
So it'd be, you're still stuck within the little town in certain areas.
Anyone else on agenda items?
I do got something else here.
Yes, sir.
It was brought up, and I think about it every time I go down certain streets, that there's an ordinance about abandoned houses. They ain't been touched, yet they're being mowed. Is there anything that can be done? I know there's several eyesores in town for that.
There is, it's a lengthy process. It just depends on the condition of the house. And is it a public safety hazard, or is it just an empty house? And that has to be determined in court. So you'd have to do the ordinance violation, you do the reports, it's into the city attorney. He determines that there's truly some violations there, you get people in court. It's a long drawn out process. I can drive by a house, maybe you don't like my house, maybe I don't like your house, but I can't dictate, truly what your house is going to look like. So it has to have safety hazards, and when you can say unsightly, well then, to what limit is unsightly? So it's just not obviously something that's automatic, but yes, something can be done, but it's on a case-by-case basis.
Josh,
No, I've got my
entertain a motion to adjourn.
Could I ask one question?
Yes.
If it won't take but a minute.
I'll entertain, yes, just one question.
Willard mentioned TIF 2. A few years ago, that was set up on a program to be paid back by the time TIF 2 ran out. Is that program still be followed?
Say that one more time.
That, the money that was borrowed from the power plant to start TIF 2 has to be paid back before TIF 2 runs out.
Okay.
We set up 3 years ago, I think, a program, so much a year is to be paid back to the power plant. So that will be paid off by the end of TIF 2. Is that still being followed through with?
There hasn't been anything recalling that I know of. I don't
Well,
think
that's,
there's any.
it's on the books,
That's what I said. No, I'm saying that we haven't stopped that.
but you can't say for sure it's being
I
paid.
cannot say absolutely for sure.
I've asked two different aldermen about that,
Okay.
and I haven't got an answer from either one of them.
I'll have to check.
We'll
How
have,
you do.
yeah, we'll get you an answer.
That has to be paid back by the time TIF 2 runs out.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You get that. Very good.
I got one other question. Alderman bonds, do we still have alderman bonds through the light plant? Or are those paid off?
Do we still have what?
Alderman bonds through the light plant?
No, the only
Just the
new
last
bonds
one.
that we have out now would be for the expansion, to the best of my knowledge.
So the other bonds were taken care of? then?
Yeah.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Call it.
Harden?
Yeah.
Han?
Yes.
McKinley?
Yes.
Pearl?
Yes.
Chicken?
Yes.